let's start with you, Marcus. First of all, thanks to Hoerbiger for supporting us on this
Thank
conference.
You for having
we
me.
appreciate and welcome you as a partner here. Maybe can you start with an introduction to Hoerbiger? We are familiar. We are grateful to you. You've been a client for us on some projects in the past, but if you can educate the audience a little bit about who Hoerbiger is. And I'm excited to learn more about this new compressor technology that you guys are developing in collaboration with Ariel. So
yes.
Maybe we can start with you.
Thank you for having me and for having that topic on that conference. So Hoerbiger is a company. It was a family-owned company. It's now a trust-owned company. Supplying the compression industry since 125 years with products, with services, with solutions, with various types of equipment. Other business activities of Hoerbiger include automotive business, but also safety, rotary unions, and we also provide, through an acquisition that we did in US, ultronic ignition system to large bore gas engines. So on the compression division side, hydrogen was always around in the traditional way, in the chemical industry, in the refining industry. 2 years ago, we were given an opportunity to deep dive into the green hydrogen economy that's building up. And we got customer interviews that have posed a very interesting problem statement to us. And the customers in those days that we talked to are mainly station builders for hydrogen fueling applications. And they said, hey, we are looking for a compressor that is not existing. And I was like, what could that be? Compressors are in existing since many decades. And they said, look, we have compressors that technically can compress hydrogen up to very high pressures. We talk about in the extreme pressures of up to 14,000 psi. But we will not be able to scale that, and the future of that industry will depend on compression systems that also address the reliability that we need, and especially the total cost of ownership. And we don't see that with current technology. So we were picking this up. It sounds very complex and complicated, but then somebody said, you know, the simple things other people are already doing. So maybe that's something for us. And we were so fortunate and happy that we have this long relation with Ariel. Ariel, the Ariel compressor from Mount Vernon, Ohio, the largest compressor manufacturer in the world in all industries, I guess, but especially in the natural gas industry. Also a company founded by an inventor, by Mr. Buchwald. And so we teamed up and said, let's do that. Let's try to build a new compressor, purpose-built for high-pressure, non-loop hydrogen, to address those three challenges that the customers are presenting to us. And that journey has started nearly 2 years ago, and it has not been boring since then, I can say.
And looks like unit number 1 is close to being deployed?
I think unit number 1 has been shipped from Ariel to our premises, and it will be deployed as a trial unit in a fuel station application of the Vienna bus company that is converting their buses into hydrogen buses. Okay. So it's fortunate a close by field test installation that we're going to face during the course of this year.
Okay, super exciting, Marcus. Anthony, you guys are doing something that's also super exciting, but you've been doing this much longer than 2 years.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, so introduce Nel Hydrogen.
Sure. Nel Hydrogen it's a company based in Oslo. It has 2 main divisions, an alkaline manufacturing division in Norway, and then a PEM electrolysis manufacturing location in Wallingford, Connecticut. It was formerly one proton. There has been, both of these technologies are actually quite mature, but the scalability of it in the recent few decades is really has been like just a blast of innovation and technology. And so both divisions are working with multiple industries across the world to try to bring both alkaline and PEM electrolyzers to scale on the industrial market.
And in terms of the two technologies, Nel's primary, I guess, capability was in alkaline, but then now, by acquiring one proton, you basically have developed capabilities
Of
in
both.
in PEM.
Yes, and it's actually quite interesting. Normally you would think that those were actually competing technologies, and as your research, which by the way is really accurate, as it showed, there really are two different users of each one of those technologies. And very recently, we've had some very knowledgeable clients inform us that they actually work very well complementing each other. Whereas, as you had mentioned, the alkaline's a little bit, the cost to operate is actually quite lower. The PEM is much more variable, so what they end up doing is using alkaline as a base load and using PEM to kind of pick up the variations in your production needs. So it's we're actually the only company at the moment that offers both.
Okay. And Anthony, you're based here in Houston. Tell us why you're based in Houston. We love more and more companies to come to Houston.
Yeah, no. I was pitching them on bringing a manufacturing facility here.
Yeah.
One of the things when I joined Nel was at large scale, the PEM electrolyzers are actually very similar in nature to oil and gas equipment that is commonly produced every day. Minus their core technology of the cell stacks. So, gas separation and power structures are very, very common to put in the field from the oil and gas industry. And as we kind of, look through that technology, we started adding more and more kind of an oil and gas flavor to it, where we've started actually integrating a lot of the equipment in Lafayette, Louisiana, using existing oil and gas infrastructure because they already have the cost of quality, where they've been beat down in the oil and gas industry for 20 years. So it was actually just a breath of fresh air for them. So it's been very interesting seeing how the actual manufacturing of this equipment is very, very similar to other industries.
So you are actually manufacturing PEM electrolyzers here in Houston, or?
No, the cell stacks themselves are made in Wallingford, Connecticut.
Okay.
In the news, we've just partnered with GM with a kind of a reciprocal agreement where we're helping them with fuel cells technology, and they're helping us with automating our cell stack manufacturing. Now the 2.5, 5 megawatt systems are containerized, and they're actually integrated in Lafayette.
Okay.
But quite a few of the EPC companies that we work with in the 10 to 20 to 1 gigawatt, kind of arena, a lot of those EPCs are actually based in Houston.
Yeah.
And as much as everybody in the green energy sector doesn't want to admit, they're pretty closely tied to the oil and gas industry. So there's a lot of lessons learned there already.
Yeah. So I think what you call they are being integrated here, the compressor OEMs and the compression industry calls it packaging.
Right.
That's interesting. Marcus, so we kind of went into this new compressor technology that you guys are developing, but maybe let's take a couple steps back and tell us what are the pain points that this new compressor seeks to solve, and what segment within the hydrogen applications are those pain points most acute in?
So, well, let me say this green hydrogen economy has made a few steps forward. Mm-hmm. The first important thing is it has left the situation of announcements and presentations. Yeah. It's really happening.